What's up, everyone? Welcome back to yet another amazing episode of Avion Awesome. So, today it's Saturday, and I don't really have anything planned except to work diligently on all things RV. So, I'm trying to get a bunch of different stuff done today. Today, I'm working on several different items, and I've got a bunch of my solar components coming in today. Unfortunately, no solar panels yet. So, but yesterday I did happen to pick up a new item. Yesterday I picked up this Vornado fan. Some of y'all might remember I had like a tower fan back there, but it was always in the floor, so I'm done with that. So I picked up this thing. It is a whole room fan, and it's still pretty small. And let me just say, I'm going to stand back here and try and shield the microphones, but you might get a little bit of wind noise. That thing moves air. Picked it up at Bed Bath & Beyond for about, well, it was supposed to be like $70, but I managed to get it for $55 with their 20% coupon or whatever. So that thing moves a lot of air, and so far I'm really digging it. I mean, I think if nothing else, if you just need to cool down by convection, that's a good option. I don't know anything as far as like long term, but it does seem to get excellent reviews online, and that's usually a pretty good indicator. You know, 500 to 1,000 people review something and they get good reviews, it's probably a safe bet. Next step today is I am working on these windows. I am trying to cut the reflectix for these windows. I need to block this light because the light coming in, the radiation coming in through these windows is just too much. It heats up the camper too fast in the mornings, which when it's cool outside, that's going to be a good thing. But when I don't want it to happen, that's a bad thing. I've also got this really long window that I have to work on as well. This is east, and toward the back is south. From the first thing in the morning, all that sun is just roaring in here. Eventually, I'm going to have to do some work on this other back window, but as of right now, where I'm sitting, I don't get much light coming in there, for real. The kitchen window will have to be done, and this front window on the left. These front windows, the very front windows, they're usually covered up by the rock guard, so I've kind of got like a built-in shield up there, but all of these side windows have got to be done. So I'm starting on that right now. So I've got this whole roll of reflectix that I bought. Actually, I really love this stuff, especially for camping applications because it's super lightweight. And it does help give you some R value in just about anything. I used to just cut this stuff up and insulate like my cooking pot. And I used to take like my food bag and I made a little pouch out of this stuff. And it would help keep the food that I was trying to rehydrate really, really hot. So this stuff is pretty good, but it's not cheap. I think it cost me about $43 for a 100-foot roll. I've already cut one section out of it, and I tried to make like a custom piece. I don't know if it's really going to work. I'm probably just going to abandon that, cut out exactly what I need, and just put it over the entire window instead of trying to do like these custom fits. It's just too much of a pain in the ass.
This stuff is really a pain in my ass. This stuff is really a pain in my ass.
Sit up there. Shut. Okay, so as you can see behind me, the window's like completely dark now. There is like a little bit of light creeping in at the bottom. But let me just say that that small amount of insulation, that very, very small amount, makes an absolute world of difference. Even if you still want to run your AC, first of all, it's not going to have to run as hard, and B, it's not going to have to cool it down from a much higher temperature when you first start it. So let's just say that you didn't have this stuff on the windows, right? And it was, say, 110 in here, you know, whatever the temperature was, whatever. The air conditioner is going to have to work a whole lot harder in order to bring it down from that high temperature down to a very comfortable temperature. Whereas if you have this stuff on your windows and the temperature only starts off at, say, like 90 degrees in here, then it's not going to have to cool it down nearly as far. So that means it runs less and then less often. I also put it on this back window like I said I was going to. And right now I've just kind of got it wedged in between the wall insulation. And so it's just kind of propped up here. But I mean, you can feel the heat coming off of this. Like, it is really, really warm. But in the early and mid afternoons, my bed area is usually so hot. But right now it is not even close. Like, it doesn't even feel bad right here whatsoever. I'm still undecided if I want to do this bathroom, because technically I can shut this door and the ceiling is actually higher than my threshold. So I could just turn this fan on, shut this door, and then ventilate out all of my heat. That's a question for another day. I usually don't get any sun on this side this time of day, or hell, even in the afternoon, because there's a full line of huge mature pine trees over here on this side. So after the sun goes down, I'm just going to take these that I already made and then just make duplicates for the other side. And then of course I've still got the kitchen window that I'll probably just custom make and then throw that up there, easy peasy. I don't use paper towels. I think paper towels are kind of a waste because you always have to get like the largest size. But napkins, on the other hand, you can get like 500 of them for, I don't know, $1.99, $2.99, and you can literally just take one little sliver, because most of the time you wipe something up with a paper towel, you're wasting quite a bit of it. And these are perfectly portioned little hunklets of make that mess disappear goodness that you can grab one slice at a time. So I don't know why. I just happen to like them way better. They're way cheaper. You can find napkins anywhere. And I mean, honestly, you can even find napkins at like most gas stations. But it's an easier way, at least for me, that I have found, that works as far as like picking up little messes and stuff like that. And like I said, super duper lightweight. Even with the 500 napkins that I just put in there and this little bit that I had left over from the last pack, I mean, I probably got like 550 total napkins up in there. I mean, they go all the way to the back as well. And it was just, I don't know, it's just super easy. It's not an awkward shape like a cylinder, and they just take up less space. You can mush them anywhere. So I also ended up grabbing one of these because I drink a lot of coffee, and there was just no easy way to get my hand all the way into my coffee mugs. So for, what was it, $1? For $1, I now have one of these little scrubbies. I don't know if they'll work very good. This is the first time, I believe, in my entire life that I haven't had a dishwasher, like ever. So I can assure you that I'm never going to use this feature, but it's kind of funny. Next up, I bought some Velcro. This Velcro is actually going to be on the window pieces that I create. So for these things, I tried to figure out some sort of elaborate scheme in order to get those things to stay up. You know what? Keep it simple. Save yourself the headache. You know, I mean, Velcro is cheap. I think she found these at the dollar store for literally $1 per pack. It's got 24 pieces, 12 total sets, and assuming that I only use between 4 and 6 per, I've only got really 4 or 5 windows to do. 3 packs ought to get it done. Last but not least, I needed a handheld mirror. It's not exactly my color, but I shave my own hair. right? So I don't do much going to the barber. I don't think I've been to a barber shop in probably 20 years. I just shave my head, call it a day. And I've been needing that for a while, and I think this was $1 as well. Super duper lightweight. Something that's extremely important to me. Okay, so I will show you all one other thing. I've kind of designated Saturdays as my laundry day. So you guys already know the kind of washer that I ended up getting. It's called the Zenny. Weighs about 37 pounds, so it's not the lightest, but it does have a steel drum down inside of there. It does have a lint catcher right here. I mean, so it's a nice unit overall. I've only used it like twice. It works really well. The cord sitting in my tub fits perfectly behind all that stuff and plugs up over here. The other thing I wanted to show you all was that I have wanted to start using the real inlet for the water, because if you don't use the inlet, it's got like an automatic stop in there so that it stops the water when it's done filling up. But if you don't use it with your faucet, it won't do it. I did have to get a couple of adapters for this setup, because this one, when I screwed it off, it was a male fitting. A lot of them are female fittings, so there's like a tip, and then this piece screws on to your faucet, not into your faucet. So I just unscrew that. Make sure the washer is still up in here. But I can pop this out. I can just screw it up into my faucet. Make sure it's nice and snug. And then I can just pop this right back on. Alright, so now I'm good to go. You know, now I'm ready to wash some clothes after I get done putting this end on that water inlet. And then I just flip the faucet on, and then this thing here will actually control the flow. If you happen to have a male fitting, a fitting that screws into your faucet and not onto your faucet, you have to buy two separate adapters. One is a male to male aerator adapter. This is the part number. You can find these at Lowe's. I found them in the plumbing section. So that's 10517. And then you also have to get the garden hose adapter, which is part number 10512. And that's what has enabled me to do this. Next up is I just uncoil the hose, throw it behind the shower curtain, set it right on there. Just make sure you don't cross thread, because that would not be good for you. You can loosen it too if you want to kind of reposition it to kind of stay up out of the way. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but we're getting done. Alright, so good and solid. And then I can push all this out of my way. I can grab the drain hose. And once you finally get done fumbling with all of that, you can just route your hose, put it here to your sink. You can, now obviously it's going to be different for everyone. You're just going to have to kind of find your own way. I'm just really glad that I have this vessel sink, because it's up a little bit, and then I can just keep the hose right there. The last time I did it, I just kind of took a couple of rubber bands and rubber banded around this, faucet upspout, and it held it in place really nice. But honestly, I don't think I really needed it, but you can do that if you want. Then I've got one of these just big tubs. I think it was originally for like cat food or cat litter or something. I grabbed one scoop of this homemade laundry soap. But I mean, any sort of high efficiency powder will work. And then I toss it down into the tub. And I turn the power on. And I've got it set to a wash, rinse, and spin cycle. I'm just going to do a high water level. Then I can just grab any of my dirty clothes, toss them in. I really need kind of a laundry basket, I do believe. So, as of right now, I've just been using like a Kroger bag or whatever. It seems to be working just fine. I don't know how many articles of clothing that is. I mean, as you can see, it's only about half full. You might be able to get maybe another shirt or a pair of shorts in there, which I think I'm probably going to try and do. Or maybe throw in my hand towels. Toss those in there. Alright, toss this shirt in there. And then just hit start. Turn the water on. And then it will start to fill it. Comes out real nice. The wash cycle will blink. And then, of course, when it gets to rinse, this one will shut off. This one will start to blink. And then when that's done, that one shuts off. And then it gets to the spin process. So it actually, I mean, it works really, really well. I mean, honestly, for a small compact unit, you don't need much more than this. Now, if you have like a massive family, I mean, if you're just squirting kids out left and right, then maybe. But, I mean, if it's just you and a spouse or something, you know, maybe do 5 or so laundry loads in a week. And, I mean, you can only wear so many clothes. But I think it's a really great unit. Like I said, very lightweight, 37 pounds. And because you can hook it up to the faucet and have your drain hose there, it does everything automatically. You don't have to constantly sit around and babysit this thing. It will wash, rinse, and spin this thing. And then I'll just hang my clothes up here on this bar to dry. If you want to watch like the full intro to it, I'll leave a link up to it up here in this corner. Well, I ended up having a bit of an accident in here. I did not secure the drain hose properly. And I made a big old mess in my bathroom. So I do have them dry. They did spin. They're up here on this drying hanger. They're already pretty much dry. The thinner stuff obviously is going to dry much faster. The poly shirts, they're damn near dry. These cotton ones, they're always the hardest to dry. But the mess is now cleaned up. And it was all due to this. I didn't secure it like I did last time. And I just sort of like laid it in here. And it was tilted off to the side. So what ended up happening is it basically caused a whirlpool. And it wasn't draining fast enough. And water sploosh all over the stuff. So now I've got my brand new Vornado fan blowing this thing all to crap. Got my exhaust fan turned on. And I hope that that never ever happens again. Because it was everywhere. But using those bath rugs, those nubbly ones, it soaked up the vast majority of the water. 2 towels later, I got all around the toilets and back here in these cracks. I really do need to caulk this area, because if I don't, I don't know. It needs to be done. The washing machine works great. It does everything automatically. Washes, rinses twice, and then spins dry your clothes all in about 40 minutes. So you can just kind of set it and then walk away. It's a pretty awesome device. Just a quick update. I did like one of those big, you know, medium-sized fuzzy throws. You know, they're really handy to use instead of dog beds and stuff like that inside of a camper, because dog beds are full of that, you know, squishy foam on the inside. That's just not going to ever be able to be washed in this thing. So I decided to go with a fuzzy throw instead. And I must say, it came out way better than I was expecting it to. I mean, most of the time these fibers and stuff, they're made out of polyester. Hell, I've got a tag right here. I'll just read it to you. Yep, 100% polyester. Polyester seems to dry the fastest of all the materials that I've tried thus far. And, I mean, it really does reject the water quite nicely. So, I would say this would, you know, take an hour or two maybe to dry out in the sun. Maybe 3 or 4 hours to dry, you know, in your bathroom with a fan on it or something like that. So, yeah, pretty awesome. So if you were looking to do some slightly larger items, I think you're totally going to get away with that. Easy peasy.